Hey guys, Nick Campanella from Taylor Timepieces here again. And on today's episode, we're talking about something that um, I think has really come to the forefront of watch collecting. As I speak about it with relatives and friends of mine, I figured we would touch on the topic and kind of see where this trend comes from. And that is the trend of bronze watches. And, I think that is, yep, bronze watches here. This is the Tudor Black Bay Bronze. And just kind of what I've seen in recent years, which is that resurgence of popularity of watches, not just of bronze in nature, but different metals. So you had, in the olden days, I think you had stainless steel, you had yellow gold, you had rose gold, occasionally you had white gold, but I think now these days people are really experimenting, these watchmakers, with materials like titanium, bronze, silver. If you're familiar with the silver 925 model, that's a completely silver case. And kind of where I see it going, and where it came from initially. I would say in the last 10 to 15 years, bronze watches has really made its mark on the public. I think that when you first started, you had these military brands, and kind of these micro brands as well. Brands like Zelos and brands like even in the larger sense, Panerai. Panerai. What were they known for at the time? Military pieces and pieces that could really take a beating, for lack of better phrase. I mean, I know these days people don't wear their watches, excuse me, maybe as often as they should, but they needed a material that could be fun and hands-on, and a little rough could take a little bit. So I think that's where these bronze pieces came from. What I love about them is the patina and the oxidation through the years. As you know, with stainless steel pieces and other gold pieces, they are very much anti-patina. They don't wear as differently as bronze watch would. So the way it works with the bronze watches, if you think like Statue of Liberty or something like that, is they do develop a sort of sheen to them, and they become a little bit more worn and ragged, but in a way that is kind of chic and very avant-garde. And I think that's really amazing. I think that, like, to have a watch, for us, watches are very much about marking those moments. And I think that, like, to have a watch like a bronze Tudor or a bronze Panerai that ages with you, unlike something like a stainless steel sub, unlike something like a solid gold AP, you'd like to see that age. And I think that as we transition to a more I would say definitely a more casual, environment. I think that these bronze watches are becoming a little bit more popular because people are wearing them. People in the olden days, I felt as though watches had to be these pristine, gorgeous timepieces that told time up to the nanosecond, and God forbid there was a scratch or a ding in the piece, it would be the end of the world. And I feel like with bronze, it's something that I personally am not afraid to get a little scratched, get a little dirty, and all it really does is help to tell the history and the time in the timepiece and the story of the watch. You saw brands like Panerai really utilizing it in the turn of the century with the Bronzo. You see, of course, the Tudor Black Bay Bronze over here, and they've made a couple models with that bronze variant. You have the bronze with the silver face, bronze with the gray face, and you also have, I believe they have a golden bronze piece. And I think it's really unique to have something like that. I also think that bronze is a material that matches with a lot of things. You got very nice earthy tones, and I think that it really lends credence to the idea that a bronze watch is to be worn, and it's one with the earth. And as far as the popularity goes, I think you will be seeing a lot of bronze in the future in a lot of these catalogs. With that being said, do I think bronze is the perfect watch and perfect material for something like a if you want something that holds its value? Not necessarily. I think that, if you're buying these Panerai bronzos, or you buy these Tudor bronzes, or these Parmigianis, or whatever you end up buying in bronze, brand new from the retailer. Even Bell and Ross does a great, rendition of a bronze dial. I think that you should always buy it secondary market, because I don't think that bronze holds its value quite like gold, or even in some cases silver. And I think it's a piece that, as we transition to a more relaxed and, slightly more, I would say, casual lifestyle, I think that the bronze really keeps up with that touch of masculinity that I think a lot of people these days kind of yearn for. And so, again, something like this, it's 43 millimeters on the wrist, and I again think that's a perfect size. 44 is for the big boys, 42 is about average, but if you want something that is kind of on that cusp, I think 43 is wonderful. There's not a lot of examples of bronze pieces. So if you can get something between $2,000 and $3,000, I think that's the way to go. There are, of course, other micro brands that work with bronze as well, but I always say this. I say if you're going to get a watch, I would get something in the mainstream brand. As micro brands are wonderful, and they're great dailies, and they're great pieces that, perhaps I'm going on vacation and I don't want to wear and, tarnish the watch. But I think with something like a bronze watch, I think tarnishing the watch and getting a little bit of wear on the watch actually helps to grow the value of the piece and make it a little bit more desirable, depending on how that watch petite is. And so, yeah, I think everyone should have a bronze watch in their collection. I think that's, at the end of the day, bronze watches exude a level of masculinity that I think we're missing a lot in this world. And I think that's, in the future, I think there's going to be a lot more bronze pieces out there. Just because I think it's a cool metal. I mean, you don't really get that with, gold. You don't really get that with silver, and the rarity to see something with a bronze, fully bronze case is just really unique. I know Tudor has since upgraded their bronze to a black bay bronze on bracelet. I think that's nice as well. But I like the strap. The strap, like I said, really alludes to that rugged look. And I've had anything like taking something that has a jean strap to it, a blue jean strap, and really just making it look like a worn and beautiful piece. And I think that as a society, we have lost that mentality that people have where, watches are beautiful antiques and beautiful pieces of craftsmanship that should be worn and should be enjoyed. And I think that the bronze piece came in, like I said, about 10-15 years ago at just the right time to really reintroduce itself to the world. And, I think everybody should have one, whether, male, female. I don't really know many women's watches that are bronze, but as we mentioned, it is a more masculine metal to have, and it is pliable, and, it can really, withstand those scratches and withstand that wear. So, if it's something that you're interested in, I would love to hear more about it in the comments. What bronze watches do you have in your collection? If you don't have anything bronze in your collection, has this video helped convince you that maybe a bronze watch is something that you want to add to your collection? As always, I appreciate the time, and I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. Thanks. Bye-bye.